Welcome back, boxing fans, to another great show with Sean on Boxing. It's a slow week, but a great month. Let's talk about it. I'll be back after the short break. Welcome back, everybody. So we got some great news already. The Devin Haney fight with obviously Norman, Brian Norman Jr. has been confirmed by Turki Al Sheikh, which is fantastic news. Obviously, we were talking about that after Brian Norman's spectacular knockout win against Shin Sasaki, and potentially who we could expect to see him fighting next. Obviously, potential fights with Hitchens was mentioned, as well as Devin Haney fight. We heard that Devin Haney's father was talking to Norman's father on Nessa's show, The Boxing Voice, and it looked as if potentially that fight was going to get done. And then some information came out that the fight fell through for whatever reason, and we were hoping, crossing our fingers, that somehow it was going to get to work out, and it has. And as I said before, I think this is easily the best potential fight for these two fighters. I don't see where they could have went otherwise, to be fair, right? Like for Norman, he could unify, but unfortunately, Boots Ennis just left the division, right? So that big fight is no longer on the table. We know that, of course, the WBC champion is defending his title against a 46-year-old retired fighter. That's boxing. That's the PBC. So, that's not a great situation, but it is what it is. And then you figure, so who could he fight? Right? With these new younger fighters and smaller dudes moving up to 147, a division that's been lacking in talent, it's definitely a bit of a resurgence and adding some energy and youth to the division. So now we get Haney versus Norman. For Devin Haney, this is an opportunity for him to really add to his legacy. If he beats Norman, he becomes a legitimate three-weight world champion and definitely solidifies himself as a pound for pound top 10 fighter in boxing today, right? I mean, there's not that many three-weight champions out there, especially guys who've been undisputed as well. Whether you like the way he won the undisputed or not, he still did it. It's still obviously something significant. And then you defended it against Lomachenko, whether you feel he won or not. Obviously, he did defend it against the guy that he had to defend it against and found a way to get the victory. So, hats off to Devin Haney for a young fighter who's done exactly what he's needed to do. And the Norman fight only adds to that legacy, right? If he goes on to beat Norman, what a spectacular victory that would be. And it'd be interesting to see what doors would open for Devin Haney afterwards. Obviously, he would get back a lot of the credit that he lost after his last two performances. Obviously, his less than stellar performance versus Ryan Garcia, and then his very boring performance versus Ramirez. A spectacular win against Norman is just what the doctor ordered. And for Norman, this would be the biggest victory of his career, right? Obviously, people that are trying to discredit him would talk about how Devin Haney is not a legitimate welterweight. That may be true, but on fight night, I guarantee you, Devin Haney is going to be bigger than Norman. But you can't blame a young fighter who's only 24 years old, just won his world title, who obviously, is still early in his career. For Norman, a victory versus Haney is just the first step in his career. So, it opens opportunities forward. It definitely makes his name far bigger. And depending on how he wins, potentially could make him one of the most exciting, marketable fighters in boxing today. But that's just one good news that obviously was confirmed. But for this July, it's going to be a great month. Obviously, so far, a lot of news that's breaking from Saudi Arabia, from Turkey Al Sheikh, has been incredible, fantastic, unbelievable. And as a boxing fan, that's all you want. People may say, "Oh, Sean, how come you're not more excited about what the PBC is doing?" Well, my question is, what are the PBC doing? I mean, if you're giving me world champion fights versus 46-year-old retired fighters, I can't say that I'm very excited about that. And outside of that Manny Pacquiao, Mario Barros fight, what the fuck exactly is the PBC doing? We're still waiting to get confirmed with regards to the Tank Davis Tevin Farmer rematch, right? Don't really know exactly when that's going to happen or if everything is up to date. Hopefully it's happening, but at this point, it's speculation. There's nothing confirmed at this time. If I go to BoxRec right now and check out to see what exactly is going on, what will I see? Let's check it out. What do you think I will see? Will I see a confirmation that a fight is scheduled or the opposite? I pretty much know what I expect, but what do you guys think? Where are you, Tank? Oh, Tank slipped quite a bit on BoxRec rankings. Now Junto Nakatani is number 3. You know, John Boxing's going to fucking hate that. But currently, yeah, here we are. So no rematch scheduled yet for Tank Davis. So God only knows what exactly is going on with that. We're looking forward to it. Obviously, it's probably going to be a very good card. I imagine they're going to have good underlying fights on it as well. But the question is when and who exactly is going to be on it. But let's get chopping up this weekend's boxing. As you can see, yesterday was Canada's birthday. Happy birthday, Canada. In another 2 days, it's going to be America's birthday. So happy birthday to all you Yanks out there. Happy 4th of July. As an American, you must be very proud and very happy because your country is doing so much better now than it's been doing for quite a while. Under the new Trump government, things look bright. Things look great. The country's regained its respect around the world. Obviously, I wish my country was doing as well. Unfortunately, with my new government, it's just the opposite. But it is what it is. I stay optimistic, and I will support the President of the United States until Canada's Prime Minister grows some balls and actually does something that benefits Canadians. But until then, let's jump forward and check out what's going on in boxing. So, as we mentioned, Devin Haney has signed, sealed, and delivered a fight with top-ranked Bob Arum's fighter, WBO world champion Brian Norman. And the problem with the Haneys is these two fuckers are like many of these YouTubers that we see all over. Way too sensitive. These dudes, man, get bent out of shape like crazy. Ironically enough, Devin Haney just had a court order held against him where he can no longer see or go near his baby mama or his baby because of assault, apparently. So this guy is just taking losses left, right, and center, right? And so Bob Arum comes out, and Bob Arum says, "We look forward to working with our friend, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. As the best welterweight in the world, Brian Norman Jr. defends his WBO title this November in Riyadh against track star Devin Haney." Based on Devin Haney's last performance, what Bob Arum said is not wrong or incorrect. He literally was a fucking track star. I heard John Boxing trying to defend Devin Haney's performance and say that Turki Al-Sheikh talking about this roadrunner type of fighter wasn't referring to Devin Haney. He was only referring to William Skull. No, actually, he was referring to Devin Haney and William Skull, who in back-to-back days put on two of the worst performances in history. Low punch outputs, very boring performances. Sure, William Skull's was far worse than Devin Haney's. He didn't get the victory, and he was even more boring and less inspired. But Devin Haney did not win any fans that night. No matter how much of a fan you are of Devin Haney, you didn't walk away super excited with that performance. But of course, Devin Haney and his father both had to come out with retorts. And Devin said, shouldn't this guy be worried about the fact he blew $90 million from ESPN and now has no TV deal? What do you mean blew $90 million? Bob Arum put on a shitload of fights the last fucking 4 years. Bob Arum was the first promoter post-COVID to actually put fights on, right? He was also one of the fighters who stayed away from putting fights on pay-per-view. Unlike DAZN, unlike PBC, he consistently made boxing on ESPN accessible for boxing fans. So Bob Arum and Top Rank did a great job. They built some of the most exciting young up-and-coming fighters in boxing. Keyshawn Davis, Abdullah Mason, and many other young fighters who look to potentially be the future of this sport. So what the fuck is Devin Haney talking about? This is a pseudo promoter who hasn't put on a promotional fight card in fucking how long? When is him? When did he and his father last promote a fight card? They could have promoted the Martinez Sandor Martin fight to defend his WBC title, but they didn't even have the balls to fucking do that. So the nerve of this guy to criticize Bob Arum. I mean, Bob Arum is the history of boxing, right? His legacy is going to fucking go down far larger than Devin Haney's, right? Who's seen as a bit of a fucking bitch, a guy whose father does his talking, a guy who fucking was stupid enough to get clowned by a woman, right? Which everybody could see that fucking playing out. And it's just worked out exactly the way fucking everyone expected. But these guys, him and his father, two of the most sensitive people in boxing today. These dudes just need to man up. Stop being bitches. Stop fucking acting so sensitive, right? These dudes are sensitive. If you want to win boxing fans' fucking attention, go beat fucking Greg Norman, become a 3-weight world champion, and do it in an exciting, sensational fashion. And everyone's just going to go, fuck, man, Devin Haney, one of the best in the world, pound for pound. That's all they'll be able to say. But if you go out there and get flatlined by fucking Norman, Bob Arum's going to look like a soothsayer. Best fighter in the welterweight division. We will see. But from my point of view, I can see how Devin Haney could win the fight, but it's not going to be exciting. Chicano U-Turn, what's up, my brother? Welcome to the chats. So let's keep moving. Obviously, this July, we have some great fights coming up. This weekend, to start off, we have Jack Catterall versus Eubank, not the older brother, the more well-known brother, but the lesser-known brother. For Jack Catterall, obviously, this is just a big bounce-back opportunity for him. He's been in some good fights. He's had some things go his way. He's had some things not go his way. Obviously, he's still one of the best fighters at 140 pounds. The question is, what's going to be the next big payday for him? Obviously, Eubank in Manchester makes a lot of sense. It's going to sell well to the UK audience. For American audiences and people outside the UK, this doesn't really move the needle, right? Not too many people are too excited or too fucking enthusiastic about this at all. Next weekend, on the 11th, we have literally the greatest female boxing card in history, right? And a lot of that's thank you to Jake Paul. So people love to clown Jake Paul, talk about how negative and terrible he is for boxing. But think about this in context. This card is happening because of Jake Paul, primarily. Jake Paul has made fighters like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano multiple millionaires. Thank you, Jake Paul. These ladies are getting paid $10 million fighting their trilogy. You know, people love to talk about Clarissa Shields, but Clarissa Shields has never and will never have 3 fights in her career that measure up to Taylor Serrano 3. None. She's never going to have that legacy, those kind of competitive matchups against other future Hall of Famers. And at the end of the day, that's unfortunate because that's what it is. It's unfortunate that she's a big girl and in her weight classes, there's just no competition. So literally no one gives a fuck what she's doing or who she's fighting. But as far as Taylor and Serrano, this is a big fight, a real grudge match. Obviously, many Serrano fans feel Serrano deserved at least 1, if not 2 of the fights with Taylor. I felt Taylor won both fights. It's not dismissive towards Serrano. Both fights were super competitive. I thought both women looked great. 2 of the best female boxing matches I've ever seen. And if you watch my channel, you know I'm not a big women's boxing fan. But you need to give credit where credit is due. I mean, you know, those 2 fights were wars. In this fight, I would not be surprised at all to see Serrano end up beating Taylor. And it would be justified and actually a good ending to the trilogy. If she doesn't, we can look forward to Katie Taylor stepping up to take on another great fighter in a huge trilogy next year, right? Just to show you what kind of ball she has and what kind of legacy she has. Nobody in women's boxing history has the resume that Katie Taylor has. Nobody. Then, of course, we have another great card. This card is sensational. Who knows if it's going to turn out to be great in the ring? But as far as on paper, it looks great. And unfortunately, sometimes that's the way things go. Sometimes things look good, but they don't always turn out good. We looked at that fight card in New York, Times Square. On paper, it looked like it was going to be a very good, very fun, very exciting fight card. Turned out to be very boring and very uninspired. Hopefully, this New York card by Ring Magazine shows up and shows out. First of all, we got Shakur Stevenson, who is easily pound for pound one of the best fighters in boxing. He's not currently on my pound for pound top 10 list, but a lot of that has to do with inactivity and just lack of opposition, right? He hasn't fought the kind of guys that really elevate him. In his career, the best person he's fought has been Oscar Valdez. He's won one legitimate world title, two, right? One against Jamal Herring, and then a unification versus Valdez at 130. At 126 and 135, he won two vacant titles. Well, he is now a three-weight world champion. There's not much praise you can give a guy for winning those kind of titles. It just is what it is, right? Now fighting William Zepeda, this is a great fight. Obviously, people favor Shakur to beat him, especially after Zepeda was kind of exposed by Tevin Farmer in his last two fights. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plans out, to see if Zepeda has learned anything from his struggles and found a way to be more effective against a very slick, dangerous, defense-first type of fighter. For Shakur, he needs to go in there and be sensational as well. Unfortunately for him, he's put on far too many less than stellar performances. Historically, Devin Haney was not really considered a boring fighter. It was primarily Shakur Stevenson that was seen as a little boring because he was far more defensive, threw a lot less punches, and was much more of a counter puncher. Devin Haney, for his part, was a much more front foot fighter, more aggressive, started to go to the body a lot more, and really worked for the knockout. Maybe not the best thing for his career, maybe not the best thing he should have done, but obviously you can see the marketability and trying to grab people's attention was something him and his father were trying to do. Shakur Stevenson is the opposite. He looks like he don't give a fuck about making fans happy. He's just going to do what he has to do to win. It might not be the best marketing strategy, but career-wise, it might be the best path for success. We will see. Obviously, for Zepeda, this is a huge fight. If he wins this, he becomes one of the best fighters at 135 pounds and probably guarantees himself a fight with Tank Davis for unification. Probably. Then, of course, in the undercard, you got Berlanga, one of the most hated fighters in boxing, versus Shiraz, who was one of the most hyped fighters in boxing. So there you are. Across the sea, you got the most hyped fighter in recent boxing against the most hated fighter in recent boxing. And at 168, it's a great matchup. I'm very intrigued to see how it unfolds. I would like nothing better than to see Shiraz beat the snot out of Berlanga. But to be fair, Berlanga is a beast. He might not be the best fighter, but physically, he is a monster. Physically very big and very strong. So it'll be interesting to see what Shiraz looks like at 168. This is his first fight at the weight class, so we're not sure exactly how he's going to look. He looked a little chinny at 160 and not very strong, a little fragile. And against a guy like Berlanga, that's probably not where you want to be. At 168, hopefully he's a little stronger, a little sturdier, and a little better in the chin area. But a great fight. Then later on, one of the best fights of 2025, but yet one of the least talked about fights. Pound for pound, number one fighter in boxing, Alexander Usyk, just split with his manager, fighting Daniel Dubois, part two. And, when you think about this fight at the present, it is a sensational matchup. Daniel Dubois, after obviously losing to Usyk in not a controversial fight. I mean, it was a low blow. That's what the ref said right from the jump. So there's no controversial involved. And then literally Usyk went out there and stopped Dubois. The controversy was that Dubois looked a bit like a fucking quitter again by getting stopped by a jab against light punching Alexander Usyk, a cruiserweight. But since then, Dubois bounced back, looks fantastic, got a career defining victory, demolishing Anthony Joshua in a fight that I don't even know what to fucking say. I'm a huge AJ fan. After that fight, there wasn't much I could say. I was hugely disappointed, obviously. And at that point, you just kind of had to say maybe it's time for AJ to hang him up because it's a new era, and Daniel Dubois is one of the guys at the front of that. And for Dubois to take on Usyk at this point makes tons of sense. It's for undisputed, obviously fantastic matchup. It'll be interesting to see how this fight unfolds, considering it's part two. Who's able to make adjustments? Who's able to look better in the second time around? Obviously, Usyk is a little older now. Dubois is literally fucking primed and super confident. So a lot of UK fans and UK pundits are pushing for Dubois to get the victory, right? They really feel that now is the time. And obviously, after having Fury and AJ, two legendary UK fighters, get exposed by Usyk, the last thing they want is to see fucking the third Daniel Dubois get exposed. Did you block me? Did I block you? You're talking, so I suppose I didn't. Yo, what's up, Sean? YouTube didn't hook me up with a notification. That's nothing special. You aren't blocked. I rarely block anyone, if anybody, so I don't know. But obviously, the Dubois Usyk fight is great. I know some people are in their feelings because Usyk is above Bud Crawford on many people's pound for pound lists, and that's no hate towards Bud Crawford. But think about what Usyk has been doing in recent years compared to what Crawford has been doing. Crawford beat Errol Spence, a great win, but Usyk beat AJ, Fury, Dubois, and now is fighting Dubois again. Bud is fighting Canelo, right? So you got 6 legitimate world champion fights against bigger, stronger, top fucking guys against 2. I mean, it's no wonder people have Usyk ranked higher. And as I said, that's nothing derogatory towards fucking Bud Crawford. It just is fucking what it is. You might want Crawford to be there because he looks like you, but literally, that's the only reason you want him there. Not because he deserves to be there over Usyk. Smash the likes, bitches. Canelo Alvarez is above Usyk. Impossible. Canelo has looked mediocre ever since fucking getting beat by Dimitri Bivol. Getting beat by Dimitri Bivol. You cannot say Usyk was beat by anybody. I'm good with Usyk Dubois rematch. Just which Parker got his chance instead of Dubois got cold feet. That's true. But Parker is now the WBO mandatory, so whoever wins has it tough. Apparently, who they have, I heard some other rumors recently as well, but it looks as if obviously Parker is going to be the next opponent for whoever wins, hopefully Usyk, because if Usyk beats Parker, what he's done in such a short period of time only solidifies his pound for pound status that much fucking more. No, I don't like Usyk. So it's not about liking fucking Euros. I like Lomachenko. I like Golovkin. They're Euros. But I don't like Bivol. I don't like Usyk. I don't like fucking Fury. Right? I like fighters stylistically that I like. I don't base everything like you do on nationality and race. For me, style means everything. Certain fighters I think are great, and I support them. Other fighters like Usyk, I think is pound for pound number 1, but he's not my preferred heavyweight. My preferred heavyweight was AJ, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Usyk fought superior and Bud is inactive. Usyk 1, Monster 2, Bud 3. And that's the thing. It's not derogatory. But see, some people are so fixated on having someone that looks like them and they think, oh, Usyk is white, so the only reason you put Usyk number one is because he's white. No, has nothing to do with his race. I don't fucking give a shit. Literally, why would I care? I don't need someone to be pound for pound number one that looks like me. When I had De La Hoya pound for pound number one, he didn't look like me. Pacquiao number one pound for pound, he didn't look like me. Roman Gonzalez pound for pound number one, he didn't look like me. Roy Jones number one pound for pound, he didn't look like me. Right? I don't need dudes to look like me. Unlike you dudes that are so fixated on race and having people identified the same as you, I don't give a shit. Really. If there's never a fucking white pound for pound top fighter in boxing, I would not lose fucking any sleep at all. None. I have Usyk, Bivol, Inouye, Bud as my top four. Well, the truth is, you put those top four and you're being fucking honest and fucking forthright. Totally true. Those four deserve to be in the top four. Wherever you want to put them, I don't care. If you want to put Bud Crawford number one because he's black and looks like you, that's fine. I don't care. But the reality is you have to have those four fighters in your pound for pound top four, right? Unfortunately, some people, they're full of shit and liars. How is Golovkin a Euro? Kazakhstan, Euro, Asia, it's on the border. What? I don't care. Like I said, you can make an issue out of it. But for me, I don't care. People that hate Golovkin, they think he's a Euro bump. So it is what it is. Can't be above Usyk losing the skull. Jake Paul is the building ranked number 14. I know. We knew that was going to happen. So whatever. They're just trying to justify a world title. Dubois will have to get lucky. Usyk is just too smart for him or anyone else. Yeah, I think Usyk stops him earlier in the rematch. I have Usyk number one because he's a Christian. Now you sound like fucking Andre Ward fans. Bivol, I think, is slept on. I never see his name in the top three. His wins over Canelo, Better be Evan Zerto are big time. Fucking big time. Like, if you don't have him in the top four, you're fucking lying. Nothing wrong with me supporting my Mexican fighters. No, nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't mean you have to hate everyone that's not Mexican. That's all I'm saying. It's like the brothers supporting brothers. That's fine. You want Canelo number one. John Boxing wants fucking Terrence Crawford number one. You two are biased. Me, I admit that all four of those fighters potentially could be number one. And I don't care which of them is number one, because those four are the best fighters in boxing today. I'm putting paper on Dubois this time. Sean, dry turkey, the WBA is about to let Jake Teeth knock down his throat. Woo, nice schedule. Who are you talking about? Nobody in your chat is supporting Black Terrence Crawfish. You know John Boxing. He's listening. Always listening. Always in the fucking behind the curtains. Dick Justice, salute, OG. Yeah, but the Dubois fucking Usyk fight, great. And then, of course, we have Cruz Fierro 2. I mean, it is what it is. Another PBC fucking, card. The PBC loves to push loves to push the Mexicans. So Cruz Fierro 2. I mean, it was a good fight, but whatever. I'm not fucking overly excited or overly worried. Usyk, the undisputed pound for pound king, when you put emotions aside. Smash the likes. And we got more. And then there's more. Even though this card, I have to admit, is typical PBC garbage. Fonduro versus Tim Tszyu 2. Give me a fucking break. Nobody was asking for that fight. Nobody cared. Barrios Pacquiao. Nobody was asking for this fight. Nobody cared. This is what the PBC does. They put these refugee fights together with fighters that fucking should not be anywhere near pay-per-view and try to jam an $85 pay-per-view down your throat. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. And it's not that it's a bad card, but literally Pacquiao got beat by fucking Ugas and then's been retired for 4 fucking years. Fonduro literally sat out a whole year ducking Bud Crawford to come back to fight a bum, and now is defending against Tim Tszyu, who was fucking run over by fucking Murtazaliev. And everyone's ducking Murtazaliev. This shit's sad, man. Sad. Dubois trying to punk Usyk and looks like a complete clown. Well, to be fair, I mean, I don't have any bad things to say about Dubois, but he's trying to sell the fight and be marketable, but he just comes off looking like a fucking idiot. He's not the smartest fucking guy around. So whenever he talks, he just looks a little fucking, hey, ma. Pack returning is embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. Guys like Hagler, Bivol, who stay at one weight class, do you hold that against them when going your pound for pound list? Golovkin as well. Well, it was a different era during the Hagler era. Obviously, you got Duran, Leonard, and Hearns who were creating a whole new legacy in fighting through multiple weight divisions, right? And by doing that, they kind of missed out on a lot of potential opportunities if they would have stayed in their division and fought there. Maybe Leonard say at 147, we would have got an Aaron Pryor fight. Maybe we would have got a Donald Curry fight, right? You know, it's unfortunate the way things work. Sometimes it benefits boxing fans, sometimes it doesn't. With Hagler, one of the criticisms you can throw at him is that during that period of time, a lot of people were talking about him moving up to light heavyweight and taking on Michael Spinks, right? The Spinks Jinx. They were pound for pound two of the best fighters in boxing, the two kings of their division. But of course, Hagler didn't do that. Can you imagine today if the shoe was on the other foot and certain individuals didn't go up to take on that kind of challenge? They would be criticized. Like Golovkin gets criticized because he didn't go up from 160 to 175 to take on Andre Ward. The Andre Ward Golovkin fight was never going to be as big as a Spinks Hagler fight was. It's not even on the same fucking stratosphere. But people act as if Golovkin was ducking. Yet Golovkin went on to have bigger fights versus a pound for pound pay-per-view star in Canelo Alvarez. Right? And Hagler did the same. Instead of going up, he ended up going on fighting Hearns and then Sugar Ray Leonard in a huge payday for him. And obviously, you know, the fight that he's mostly known for, those two fights. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm excited for Pacquiao, can't lie. I'm a Pacquiao fan. I just don't want to see great fighters embarrassed and mistreated when they're too old. Mexican fighters are the best. Of course, the PBC are going to push their best products. Well, I just think it's ironic because people talked about the PBC being there for the black fighters, right? Black American fighters, unlike Top Rank and Golden Boy and everyone else that just was pushing Mexican Latino fighters all the time, which ruined HBO, right? But yet that's what the PBC's been doing for the last 3 years, primarily pushing Latin American fighters. It's the irony. That's what I'm pushing. Is that a PBC Top Rank collaboration card? No. Why would it be Top Rank? What Top Rank fighter is part of it? Tim Tszyu has lost a lot of fight or appeal. He's now the guy facing the guy. Exactly. How Pac returning is an embarrassment. It's embarrassment because the dude's 46 years old, got beat by Ugis and looked terrible in that fight, hasn't fought for 4 fucking years, had an exhibition fight versus a kickboxer, looked fucking abysmal, and now is coming back. It's potentially going to be like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Cringe. I hope it's not, but I expect that it will be. Really, I didn't know that about Hagler and Spinks. That's some good info. Unlike the rest of these fanboy channels, I talk boxing. Stop talking about Bumlovkin. Canelo sparked that Eurobum. Actually, he never spanked that Eurobum. He was lucky in the first fight, a draw. He was lucky in the second fight, which many people thought was a draw. And then he beat up an old fighter in the third fight and didn't even fucking dominate in that fight. And that was a shell of Golovkin. So that's probably the worst performance for Canelo. Zayas and Shushu are Top Rank. Yeah. But what do you mean? Zayas is on what card? That's not going to be the Pacquiao fight card. This is every fight that's happening during July. So this is a Top Rank card. It's nothing to do with Barrios, Shinfunduro, and Pacquiao. The Zayas and Shushu card are on Top Rank. That's a top ranked card, right? Uh, it's embarrassing any way you look at it. Canelo GG trilogy was average. It was average, but unfortunately, sometimes that's how fights are. When you get fighters that are really evenly matched up, what do you want? What do you expect? I mean, the Pacquiao fucking uh, Mayweather fight was fucking garbage, not even average. The Leonard Hagler fight, disappointing, right? A lot of the biggest fights in boxing history have not delivered, unfortunately. That's just the way things go. Okay, I was confused. I thought that was the card on the screen. No, no, no. This is all the big fight cards happening in July. So a stacked July. So the Xander Zayas card, Xander versus Garcia and Carrington, those are specifically a top ranked card. And then, of course, you have the Clarissa Shields fight that's there. But I'm glad we can't even see that because that is not a stacked fight card. Clarissa Shields is fighting some bum ass New Zealand girl that nobody's ever fucking watched before and no one really gives a fuck about, right? And nobody's going to watch that fight. Who is Krista fighting? I didn't even see her fight up there. Another retired soccer mom. Exactly. She's fighting some New Zealand girl that, this is the problem when I talked about earlier. When you compare her to Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, they have legendary fucking fights, legendary matchups. Unfortunately for Clarissa Shields, she doesn't have any of that because she's being a fat ass fighting at heavyweight, right? Really against who? So people go, oh, yeah, she's the best woman boxer in the world. But how do you know that? Based on fighting bum ass fucking opponents? Like literally, there she is. 16-0, right? Looks like fucking, this is her jail picture. 3 knockouts. Her last 3 fights, she faced a girl who was 7-1 to win vacant titles. And then she faced a girl who was 5-0. I mean, you can't make this shit up. 7-1, 5-0, and now 11-2-2 against this fucking Daniels girl. 11-2-2, 1 knockout win. She's fucking 36 years old, the smiling assassin. I mean, and look at the kind of fighters she's been facing. I mean, John wants to be critical of Roman Gonzalez, but Roman Gonzalez wasn't losing to fighters who were 4-1 and 6-1, and fighting fighters who are 0-5-0, 1-6, 1-6-1, 1-0, and making debuts 1-2, 3-0-2, right? He wasn't fighting that kind of opposition consistently. That's who Clarissa Shields is fighting. And then these people want to act like somehow we should be fucking honored and fucking excited. Those bigger girls just don't have the talent pool. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. It's not a disrespect to her. Unfortunately, she's never going to have the opportunities to build the kind of resume that those other girls have. So historically, what are you going to say about her? She had great accomplishments against nobodies. Canelo is going to own blacks after he beats Terence Crawfish. Terence Crawfish is a great black hope. Canelo is the king. Terrible. I was looking at this info the other day. Horrendous. Garden snake mentality. Women boxing is complete ass, in my opinion. A sister or brother can't get a break on this platform. Come on, man. What do you want me to say? I was just praising Devin Haney. But you want me to praise fucking Clarissa Shields for fighting bum ass opponents? Like, look at this girl. This is who she fought. 5-1. The girl's like 39 years old. 42. 42. And who's she fighting? Look at these opponents. 2-1, 3-2, 2-1, 1-0, 2-0-1. That's her whole fucking resume. That's who Clarissa Shields beat. Like a combined record of 5, 8, 10, 10-4-2. 10-4-2. All those fighters together have a record of 10-4-2. A shit fucking combined record. A fighter, if anybody was fighting that kind of opponent, you'd be critical of. Right? I'm not trying to hate on her, but that's why no one cares about her fight. Or this girl, Canadian, 7-2, knocked out both times. Who was she fighting? She's fucking 29. She's much younger. Good job. Fighting girls that were 10-1, not bad. 3-1, 1-3-1, 2-1, 8-0 against the steroid girl. She got beat by her. 1-1, 2-1, 2-0. That's her whole resume right there. The only person she fought that was any good was 8-0 and knocked her fucking out. The fucking girl that was on roids. So that's why no one cares about fucking Carissa Shields. She's fighting bums, no hopers, like literally fucking fighters that no one cares about. And why would Carissa drop a movie about herself before you retire? Don't do it smack dab in the middle of your career. Because she's an ego fucking maniac. That's why. Sean is racist. He hates Mexicans and black fighters. That's true. I do hate the fucking Mexicans and the blacks. When are they going to deport all those fuckers? Come on, man. Stop your bullshit. Frederico agreed. It's just not for me. They have the huge women's card coming up in 2 weeks, and I don't care. To be fair, Garden Snake, the Serrano fucking Taylor third fight should be great. Their first two fights were great. If you didn't see them, you won't be disappointed in watching those two fights. They are excellent. Excellent fights. Up to this point, they had only made films about legendary boxers, but Shields gets a movie for a mediocre career. Shout out to the GOAT. Oh yeah, the GOAT. She ain't the GOAT. Stinger coming in with that Scorpion death drop. She's fucking got one of the worst resumes in fucking female boxing. You know, her resume looks kind of like Ali's daughter's resume looks, right? When you were a good fighter in an era of trash. It's not her fault. There's just no fighters there for her to fight. Kind of like Layla Ali, who I was a big fan of because obviously she's Muhammad Ali's daughter. But when you look at these smaller fighters, the pool is deep. There's a lot of good fighters. Great competition. Well, in the second fight, there was a lot of headbutts. That's true. But so that's what Evander Holyfield did to Mike Tyson. Totally fucked him up. And so Taylor did that to Serrano. Totally fucked her up too. Mind over matter, my man. Bro, all the way from the rafters. Layla Ali, perfect example why we get the Ann Wolfe fight. Yeah, that was obviously the biggest fight you could have made, and we didn't get that. Also, the fight we did get was against the coal miner's daughter, but she was not as big as fucking Layla Ali, right? So it was kind of like, so you put the two biggest names together because of marketability. But the fight people want was Ann Wolfe versus Layla Ali because people felt Ann Wolfe was the most dangerous, right? And then even for the coal miner's daughter, we would have preferred her to fight, what's her face? The girl from Europe had a great left hand, Lucia Riker, right? Who fucking was a monster. You would have did that matchup. It would have been like Mikey Garcia Lomachenko, Bud Crawford versus fucking Spence. Two great matchups. But then you're going to take one small fighter to put it against one big fighter, and then the other two fighters on the outside looking in. Disappointing. Disappointing. But let's move forward. Let's take a quick peek. Tonight, let's just jump ahead. Tonight, we have this card. It's coming on soon. Let me quickly say, they said 10 o'clock this fight's coming on in my time, Taiwan. Albert Batagayev, WBA regular champion at 130 pounds. Obviously, might be elevated depending on what happens with Lamont Roach and if he decides to move up and drop his titles or what. Come on, fucking Cliff. How do I go back? Whatever. Come on. I don't want to hear. There we go. But Batagayev is a great fighter. Obviously won an Olympic gold medalist. Then you have Bakov, who's on the undercard fighting Jolani Genjeni. Good fight. Those two fighters, obviously two elite amateur fighters. Bakov, I think he's 7-0 with 6 knockouts at the welterweight division. And Batagayev, one of the best fighters at 130. The problem with him is he looks chinny as fuck. And now that he's a pro, that's kind of been exposed. So I'm excited to see what he does against Dickens. His last two fights, he's got dropped multiple times, and still offensively looks fucking great. But man, his chin is big question mark. So I'm curious to see what he does tonight. Obviously, I'm a fan, but I won't hold my breath. Mike did the right thing by biting Holyfield. Way too many headbutts and low blows. That ain't the sweet science. Well, I agree. I mean, I'm a Holyfield fan, but I was not upset when Mike Tyson got pissed off because I was watching going, fuck, man. If I was him, I'd be fucking pissed because the first fight, he got a lot of cuts, right? And obviously, it impacted him. And then you start the second fight, and similarly, it was a similar situation. It's kind of like Roman Gonzalez when he lost to the Thai fighter. He was getting headbutt like crazy, had the cuts, lost the fight, even though he won the fight. But judges are such fucking idiots where you're going to say he lost because he was broken up and had cuts. Yeah, because he's getting fucking headbutted like fucking crazy. In the rematch, the fucking Thai fighter came out, headbutted him a few times right off the bat, and I think mentally it really threw Roman Gonzalez off. And then, of course, he ended up getting caught and knocked out. Are you deleting my comments? What are you talking about? Why would I delete your comments? Stop fucking being rude and obnoxious, and probably StreamYard won't do that, even though I have no idea what StreamYard does. I cringed when she called out Layla, who hadn't fought since 2004. Fucking Clarissa Shields, of course. I mean, that's the problem with so much American boxing today. They're more focused on fucking social media bullshit as opposed to fucking actually doing what they need to do. Fight the best fighters available. Come on, what are you doing? What's wrong with my fucking thing? I need a new battery. I'm too low. Oh, shut up. Get out. I'm not deleting no comments. I'm a civil individual. I don't delete comments. That's not bad. The Ring Magazine card's on DAZN. The Usyk Dubois card is on DAZN. The Bam Rodriguez versus Cafu fight is on DAZN. Of course, you got this shit card this weekend, Catterall versus Eubank on the DAZN. Even Pierce, the 122-pound Black American kid, is fighting Des Moranis. That's on DAZN on OTX Boxing. And then, of course, you got this fight tonight, Badagaya versus Dickens. I'm going to watch it, even though I got to work tomorrow. Mike Tyson is very overrated. He's lucky he didn't fight a Mexican. He would have lost. He wouldn't know how to deal with Mexican style. Oh, my God, give me a break. I mean, has there ever been a good Mexican fucking heavyweight boxer? I think the answer is no, you small, short little fuckers. But let's talk about some real boxing that doesn't include fucking Mexicans. So there, of course, is the card that we were talking about this weekend. Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank. Joe Cordina's on the card. That's not bad. Sky Nicholson, holy fuck. She's boring as hell. If you don't like women's boxing, you don't want to watch her. She is the Shakur Stevenson of women's boxing. Boring as fuck. But the first two fights not bad. Joe Cordina and Jack Catterall. But outside of that, I think this card is made for UK residents. The other card from Russia looks much better. Pavel Siligin, Evgeny Romanov, Magomed Kurbanov, Mark Urdnov, Carleton Agraba. All those guys are legitimate, right? Like legitimate fighters. One heavyweight, one light heavyweight, 168-pound fighter, cruiserweight. I can't remember what Siligin is. Mark Urnov, I think, is a 147-pounder. And Agraba, I think, maybe is a 140-pounder. The other guys on the undercard, I'm not sure who they are, but I'm sure if we look, they probably have good amateur pedigree. So the Russian card is way better than the shit card fucking from the UK. The Zones card is disappointing. Hopefully the RCC card will be on YouTube. Generally, Before, RCC cards from Russia were always free on YouTube, but I think because of the war recently, unfortunately, maybe that stopped happening. Where are we? This dude, Mexican owns Bum Lovekin, is a black dude trying to bring hate towards Mexican fans. Could be. Sky is pretty hot. Shout out to Eddie. Eddie tapping that ass. Sean, do Taiwanese people release sky lanterns? Yes, they do. Oh, thank you very much, my man. I appreciate it. Even though you still got that fucking cringe fucking picture. Even Lily thinks it's cringe. Nicholson is not quote caliber with the sweet science. Well, nobody's fucking sweet quote status with the sweet science. It's a boring style that fucking nobody wants to watch. Drunk Irishman's in the house. How you feeling about your pound for pound fighters' dominant performance against the big rugged Cuban? Even John Boxing now has him in his top 10 pound for pound list. What the fuck are you talking about? Us Mexican fans are the best. We run boxing. I don't know. What do you think, Lily? Do Mexican fans run boxing? I know the PBC thinks so. That's why they show all Mexican fighters all day. But for the rest of us hardcore fans, we don't need to be so petty, do we? All I know is great matchups are great matchups, regardless of who's involved. Rick Glazer said Zerto is a fat ass. No way he's a shot against Opataya like that. Well, Rick Glazer is fucking not the smartest fucking cat around. Like, sure, Zerto is fat at cruiserweight. It's not his best weight, but he's still fucking one of the best fighters at the division. He fought like Vasily Lomachenko, the fat ass Mexican fucking cruiserweight version of Lomachenko. But there was a lot of Lomachenko in Zerto's match against Dortukis. And Dortukis is a legitimate fucking fighter. 2-time cruiserweight fucking world champion. The only guys to beat him was who? Gassiev and fucking Bradis? I mean, if that's your fucking resume in your career, that's not too bad. The only guy to beat Zerto was fucking pound for pound top 4 fighter Dmitry Bivol. I mean, come on, man. Like, how can you take dudes like Rick Glazer serious if he's making these kind of stupid fucking comments? Sean, did you see the list boxing scene posted on active fighters who are for sure Hall of Fame fighters and fighters who won't get in? I didn't. You have it? Give it. Post. Let me see. I don't buy it. You're just pretending to be a toxic Mexican fan. I bet your account was made within the past month. No, his account's been around for much longer than that. Zerto is going to be undisputed. He could be undisputed. I definitely think he beats the shit out of fucking the Swedish fucking dude. What's his face? What's his name? Last name, first name? Why can't I think of who he is? PBC fighter, ex-PBC fighter. And I think he could beat Jay Opataya because Jay Opataya has a bad gas tank, right? If you can go the first 4, 5, 6 rounds without getting your face broken, and Zerto does get hit. So, it's going to be a tough 4 to 6 rounds. But if he can go the first 4 to 6 rounds, potentially he can get in there and outwork, maybe even stop fucking Opataya moving forward. But it's a great fight. I mean, let's just be honest. Regardless of who wins, it's a fight worth making. Kid Austin is officially ranked number 1 for Tank. That seems like a risky fight for the reward, not something Tank is big on. Is Kid Austin ready? Well, now's the time, right? If you're going to get offered a career high payday to fight Tank Davis in a fight that's going to catapult you onto the pound for pound list if you win, why aren't you fucking ready? I post the list on my community post. Check it out after the stream. Can't post it in the chat. Mexican run boxing. We want the rematch between Canelo and Bivol. Well, that would be a good rematch, especially if it was for undisputed at light heavyweight. I mean, if Canelo beats Bud Crawford, and then I think the most reasonable fight for him would be Canelo Alvarez fight. Like, why would David Benavidez get a fight versus him? Like, why would Turkey or Bivol give that guy a fight when he literally fucking walked away from the opportunity, right? He doesn't want to work within the system. He wants to fucking have the system work around him. But who the fuck are you? The Canelo Alvarez fight is sitting right there. Bivol, Turkey, Canelo. If Canelo goes in and fucking looks good against Bud Crawford, fucking flatlines him, stops him, the hype for a fucking rematch is going to be at an all-time peak. You do that fight, career high paydays for both of those dudes. Who needs fucking David Benavidez when you have a potential Canelo Alvarez, Bivol, well, it won't be undisputed because, of course, fucking the WBC fucked that shit up by giving Benavidez the fight, but you know what I mean. Gervonta Davis is overrated. Shakur Stevenson sucks. William Cepeda is going to crush him. Yeah, good luck with that. That's sad. You'd rather see Nello Bivol rematch than Bivol Benavidez, two best. But Victor, why is Benavidez the best? What has he done? He didn't win a title. He was given a title. Why would that fight be more worthwhile than a Canelo Alvarez rematch? Canelo Alvarez is the guy that David Benavidez has been clout chasing fucking for 3 years. So obviously he feels that Canelo is bigger than him, but you don't. You don't think it's bigger. You think fucking a Benavidez fight versus Bivol is bigger. But why does Bivol need Benavidez? He would have fucking beat Canelo, beat Zurdo, who fucking Benavidez also wants to fight, beat Beterbiev twice, and then try to fight Canelo a second time to beat him twice. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's fucking a legacy right there. But you dudes, man, the things you say, it just exposes you. You're just not real boxing fans. I love Nello, but he can't beat Bivol, in my opinion. Let's see it, though. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Bivol fucking maybe even stops him at 175. What's up, Big Dosser? So John Boxing has Zurdo on his pound-for-pound list. Respect. He does. Of course, no Kenshiro and no Junto Nakatani. Those two Japanese fighters obviously got to get kicked off the list. So Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson and Jaron Boots Ennis go on the list because we need more black representation with Tank Davis and Bud Crawford. So now 5 black American fighters on his pound-for-pound list because you got to have more black fighters. It's unfair if there's not enough black fighters on the list. They don't have to earn the position. But, you know, this is, what is it? DIY? Not DIY, but what's it called? The new thing? Fucking diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI? Yes, DEI. So, I mean, this is all about fucking modern American. DEI. Blacks on the fucking pound-for-pound list, not because they earned it, but because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But that doesn't account for fucking Asians because they're not minorities. So fuck the Asians. Get the fuck off the list. Mexicans as well. Fuck you. You're not diverse enough. You got to be black. This diversification only means black. Not fucking brown. Not fucking yellow. Only black. Where did he place Haney and Inouye? This time he, I think, has Inouye over Haney. I think Inouye was 4th, Haney was 5th, or Inouye was 5th and Haney was 6th. Canelo was 3rd. Obviously, you can see what he's doing there. He's putting Canelo high up on that list because he's hoping Bud Crawford beats him. So that solidifies him as number 1, right? Even though who fucking has Canelo Alvarez number 3 currently on their pound-for-pound list? Number 5, number 6, maybe number 7, but fucking number 3, who's got Canelo number 3 currently? But, you know, dudes like this, they're mental. It's always fucking a sideshow. But meanwhile, critical of other people's pound-for-pound lists and critical of not having a black fighter at number 1. Because Usyk doesn't deserve to be number 1. He's only beaten AJ, Fury, and Dubois. Bud Crawford beat Errol Spence. You don't have to be a fucking accountant to figure out this number game. I bet he won't move Canelo to number one after he sleeps Bud. Of course he won't. Of course he won't. Of course he won't. Of course he won't. Canelo is undisputed, Sean. I know he's undisputed, but what does that mean? He's been undisputed. That William Skull fight, to me, that doesn't mean anything. That didn't make him undisputed. That was just a fucking political fucking maneuver by the IBF. He was always undisputed. He never lost it, in truth. Thank you very much, Grievous. You're a good man. If Canelo is number 3 on a pound-for-pound list, it's obviously biased. It is. I mean, come on. How are you going to put Canelo on a list, in all honesty? And we talked about this earlier, garden snake mentality, right? He put his top 4. And truthfully, if you don't have these 4 fighters in your top 4, you're exposing yourself. You can put him in whatever fucking position you want, but you have to have these 4 fighters on your fucking list. Usyk, Bud Crawford, Inoue, and Bivol. You have to have those fighters in your top 4. Find at number 5. Maybe you can put Canelo at number 5 now over Beterbiev, and then Beterbiev up there if you want to squeeze Devin Haney there. But how do you put Devin Haney above Junto Nakatani? Junto has fucking been destroying people. Devin Haney has been inactive, didn't fight for 1 fucking year. Looked shit against Ryan Garcia and looked fucking shit versus Ramirez. The last time Devin Haney looked good is when he fought Regis Prograis. How fucking long ago was that? I mean, you can't put a guy on the list just because at one time he was fucking undisputed. Oh, congratulations. That means I got Jermaine fucking Taylor top 10 on my pound-for-pound list because he was fucking pound-for-pound too. Haney isn't elite. Canelo should be number 1. He has the best resume in boxing. Resume fucking doesn't mean anything. What have you done for me lately? Resume puts you in the conversation, but what has Canelo done lately? He got beat by Bivol. He looked shit against Ryder. He looked mediocre against Munguia. He looked mediocre versus Charlo. He looked mediocre versus fucking Bumlanga. He looked terrible against William Skull. Like, there's not been a sensational performance from Canelo Alvarez in his last 6 fucking fights, right? He's still been undisputed, but he hasn't looked fucking great. He hasn't looked explosive, destructive, right? That's why these guys that do these lists, they're fucking biased. I'm not biased. Nobody can tell me my fucking pound for pound's biased because I'm not putting dudes there because of their look. I can justify it, and you can look up everything I say, and it makes fucking total sense. I think Canelo has done enough to get back in the top 10, but I personally can't place him as any higher than 6. Yeah, that's what I say. Haney isn't elite. Pound for pound isn't a career resume list, at least for me. It shouldn't be career list. Otherwise, now Pacquiao is going to be on the list. So Pacquiao is now pound for pound top 10 because Pacquiao is now officially fucking out of retirement, and his resume is fucking better than Canelo's. So Pacquiao is now pound for pound top 10. Right? Like, that's how stupid that fucking list is. And if he beats Mario Barros, he's going to be on Ring IQ's pound for pound list. Really? Because Ring IQ put so much fucking status in the resume. So you beat a fucking Mario Barros, all of a sudden Manny Pacquiao is a top 10 pound for pound fighter. I mean, I love Pacquiao, so I ain't hating. I'm just being fucking the sign of fucking reason here. Bruce Gass, salute. What's your prediction for Crawford Canelo? I need a tip. It's a tough fight. I said I need to see Crawford, his legs, and see what he looks like. If his legs looking like Deontay Wilder, Canelo's gonna fucking stop him. If his legs are looking fucking like, Sugar Ray Leonard, I think he can win by decision. Usyk is number 1, in my opinion, because of the quality of opponents and the advantages he gives up. Exactly, Wayne Evans. How is that racial or hate towards Bud Crawford to talk about Usyk, who I just talked about. AJ, Fury, Dubois, and he's fighting Dubois again versus Errol Spence. One fighter's been doing this, one fighter's been doing that. One fighter's been fighting fighters like this. One fighter's been fighting fighters like this. Even Madrimov wasn't bigger than Bud Crawford. Canelo, not really bigger than Bud Crawford. He's not fighting fucking monsters, gargantuan fighters who have 50 pounds and 8-inch reach advantages on them. He's not fighting at such a fucking disadvantage. And if he was, you know John Boxing and others would be fucking talking about it. Because they're making it sound like he is. I wouldn't say he looked mediocre against Munguia and Charlo. Well, he should have knocked out both those fucking guys. Junto is fighting Canelo competition and sparking them out. Junto's fucking destroying dudes, becoming unified champion and fucking killing them. The guy he thought was a world champion fought great until he no longer could fucking deal with Junto Nakatani and folded like a fucking lawn chair. If we were going on resumes, then Pacquiao's number one. We're talking pound for pound. Exactly. Sean is a racist against Mexicans. How am I racist against Mexicans? Who's Mexican? Only Canelo. So you're mad because Canelo is number 3 on someone's pound for pound list? Salute. Also, UK says under 30 fights. I think if Pacquiao beats Barrios, he's after that turkey money, maybe this reason coming out of retirement. But who would he have to fight to get that turkey money? Because maybe he'd get a fight with Norman. If Norman beats Devin Haney, or if Devin Haney beats Norman, then Pacquiao, maybe the turkey money will come out then. That's true. Pacquiao is rich before turkey money. He is. People act like he's broke. The dude ain't broke. He owns fucking half of General Santos, right? So, money fucking stretches in the Philippines, especially in the southern Philippines. But yeah, let me see if I could find that. You said boxing scene. I'm going to use my AI because AI is fucking wonderful. Hello, I heard there was a article in Boxing Scene talking about current fighters that will eventually become Hall of Famers and current fighters that won't be Hall of Famers. Do you have access to that information for me? This is far easier than me like searching. Here's the Boxing Scene piece you asked for. It breaks down active fighters into 4 categories based on how likely they are to eventually be included into the Hall of Fame. Fucking AI. Man, I wish I had this when I went to school. This stuff's the best. You're the best. Thank you very much. You are comparing a skinny Japanese kid to Canelo. It has nothing to do with a skinny Japanese kid to Canelo. I'm not saying that Junto Nakatani is better than Canelo Alvarez, but currently he's peaking. Canelo Alvarez is drooping like your tits because you're Mexican. So we know your tits are drooping. Shout out AI. Shout out. So here we go. Strong contenders. Long shots. Oh, but you didn't tell me who. Oh, you did? What? What is it? Look at that. Sure things. The article specifically calls out top women fighters like Shields, Serrano, and Taylor. Among male fighters, anyone with compare resumes, weight would fit here, but doesn't tell me who. Why are you telling me about the women? Long shots. The column focuses only on active fighters, and it deliberately excludes recent retirees like Lomachenko, Russell, Santa Cruz, although Loma is acknowledged as a future Hall of Famer. Hear that, John? If you want, I can dig deeper, maybe cross reference with other more recent boxing scenes or boxing junkie analysts for. I just wanted all the specific names that were listed and where. Uh, AI needs some better judging. Some of the scoring was questionable. AI is making my job easier. Hopefully, it won't replace me. Well, that's ultimately the issue, right? It's a great tool, but nobody wants to actually lose. Oh, here we go. Sure things. Thank you very much. Sure things. Canelo Alvarez, Usyk, Crawford, Inouye, Roman, Chocolatito Gonzalez. Yeah, John, you heard it. Nonito Donaire, Tyson Fury, Dimitri Bivol, and yes, Juan Francisco Estrada. Black American fighters. One. Only one. Only one. Only Bud Crawford. Because unfortunately, he's the only one doing fucking anything. Even though if Devin Haney becomes a three-weight world champion, he definitely will probably be on the list. Probables. Joshua, Spence, Better BF, Kenshiro Taraji, Deontay Wilder. See, but that's like probables. That's not even definites. But this guy was making it sound like fucking Wilder was over Lomachenko. Long shots. And I think this is totally fair. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Jermell Charlo, Lara, Navarrete, Quadras, Broner, Ryan Garcia. Yeah, none of those fighters deserve to be Hall of Famers. Sean Porter also should be on that list. Fighters who've shown elite level of ability but are lacking defined body of work. Tio. So, thank you very much. There you go. Nice work for AI, breaking that shit down. Right? That gives you a good synopsis on how, not that Black American fighters still aren't important and still a big part of boxing today, because Bud Crawford is a future Hall of Famer and potentially an ATG, right? But it shows you the fucking depth now compared to before. Like some clown, and we know who, talked about how pound for pounds today are watered down versions compared to before. And he showed Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson's pound for pound list would be fucking hugely watered down because of the lack of competition during the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Right now, today, I was going to ask AI yesterday, but I didn't. How many current active fighters are there in 2025 in boxing compared to 1945? But, like, think about it. Like, the amount of boxers today compared to then, I mean, boxing was primarily an American thing. You had some fighters from England, a couple from here, a couple from there. But primarily, all boxers were American. Nowadays, boxing is global. And a lot of countries are producing a fucking lot. 2025 estimated suggests that approximately 20,000 active professional boxers worldwide. In 1945, indicates there was 11,000 active professional fighters. So it's basically twice as many fighters today as there was then, right? And that's because boxing is far more global than it was before. And because of that, you have far more depth in division, far more quality of opposition, right? Does it mean all the fighters today are better than back then? No. You could have had more elite fighters that maybe would have been great today, but who wants to bet on that? I mean, that's subjective as all hell. Wilderness. Devin could go in as the youngest undisputed champ in the four-belt era if no one does it sooner than he did. I know, but I mean, that's the thing people love to hang, like somehow it's significant. Like most of these people that use this talked about how Tank Davis was the youngest boxer in history because that's how stupid they were. No, he was the youngest champion at that time. Not of all time, but during that year when he became a champion, there was no other champion in boxing younger than him at that fucking period of time. It doesn't mean there was no younger fighters than him prior to that. Mike Tyson was fucking younger than him. Many fighters were younger than him. But this is the problem when you talk to stupid casual fans that fucking run with fucking stupid narratives and they don't even realize Benitez was 16. Benitez was 16 years old when he was a fucking world champion. 16 years old. So who fucking talks about him today? Nobody. You trust AI over your own boxing knowledge and eyes? AI can find information on the internet far easier and faster than I can. So I use it as a tool to give me information to support my argument because it can find information like this. Whereas for me, sometimes finding information on the internet with so much shit becomes complicated. You know that too. You're just, doing what you do. You are so focused on blacks. Why? Because I know John's listening and I know it irritates him. Tank at 22 beat Petraza. Man, the hope I had for him. But much like Adrian Broner, hype job protected by the PBC, trying to create him into some superstar, pound for pound, pay-per-view star, but not doing it fucking holistic, not fucking doing it the way you're supposed to do it, by literally beating top fighters. If he would have went on and beat Lomachenko, he would be right now a future Hall of Famer. You notice his name wasn't on the list because unfortunately he hasn't fucking done anything to put his name on that list yet. John Boxing, shake my head. What a clout chaser he is. Finding treasure amongst junk is not easy. Well, that's the problem because the internet is so full of information. A lot of it fake information, trying to sort through it. You have to be better on a computer than me and have the right clues and everything else. AI has been great for fucking clearing through all the garbage and getting straight to the minutia. Excellent. I love it. Beautiful. I'll be using AI all the time on my channel from now on. Ness from the Boxing Voice asked AI, was Buster Douglas a great fighter? And IA said, yes. I don't trust AI. He asked fucking AI a subjective fucking question. AI, if you ask a subjective question, what kind of fucking response do you want? You notice when I asked information, it wasn't subjective. It was factual. When you want to talk about boxing on a live like this and have debates with people and go back and forth, subjective shit don't mean anything. Because you might think Buster Douglas was a great fighter. I might think he was a fucking one-hit wonder. Because it's subjective. But if we ask how many world champions were there in 1945 compared to today, we're going to fucking have facts. But that's the problem with you young guys. You can't differentiate between subjective opinion and facts. And that's been the fucking issue on YouTube for fucking years. It's a fact because I said it. No, it's your opinion. That's why I know Tio is a goofball, but he stepped up at 23 and beat arguably the number one pound-for-pound fighter, something Tank wouldn't have dared to. Exactly. 23, which was the same fucking age Loma was trying to fight Tank Davis, right? The same age Devin Haney was trying to fight Lomachenko. These other dudes were willing to do what Tank Davis fucking ducked. John Boxing going to make a video on that boxing scene list. Broner, Tank, Jermell are for sure Hall of Fame fighters. You know he will. You know he will. Obviously, boxing scene is racist and doesn't want to give black American fighters fucking their credit. AI has an American ignorance. Buster had a great performance versus Tyson. He did. A career best. Would you say the Mexican fighters have done more in boxing? More than black American fighters? Oh, no. No. Are they the second most accomplished group out there? Oh, yes. But have they done more? No. Definitely not. If you put Anglo fucking Jews, Italians, and Irish together, maybe they've done almost as much as Mexicans. But of course, most of that was done prior to 1965. Most of what Mexicans have done has been post 1965. So there you go, right? Sean, do you feel James Buster Douglas was a great fighter? No, I don't. I thought he had a great performance versus Mike Tyson. And I fucking loved watching Evander Holyfield destroy him. Loved it. Loved it. Andy Cruz versus Buster, both are the best. Who wins? Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas at his best beats fucking Andy Ruiz fucking all around the ring. Better boxer, great jab. He would have totally, if Parker, Joseph Parker beat Andy Ruiz, fucking Buster Douglas fucking totally beats him. Mexican fighters have done way more than black fighters. What is wrong with you? What have they done way more? Let's ask AI. In boxing history, which minority group has done more in the sport? Black Americans or Mexicans? Great question, and a nuanced one, because both Black Americans and Mexicans had enormous transformational impact on boxing history. Here's a side by side breakdown of what each group has contributed so you can compare legacy, influence, and statistic achievements. Fucking AI is brilliant. Achievements: heavyweight dominance. Black Americans have dominated the heavyweight division, multiple division dominance, Olympic gold and amateur dominance, cultural and political icons. Numbers: over 50 Black American fighters are in the International Hall of Fame. Over 50. Long history of American fighters dominating global pound for pound rankings across the era. Mexican boxers: volume and depth, fan culture and national identity, lower weight class dominance, modern global icons. Numbers: Mexicans have produced over 200 world champions, several all time greats in the Hall of Fame. Several, not 50, several. Huge influence on U.S. marketing, especially California, Texas, and the Southwest West area. Verdict: who has done more? Final thoughts: Black Americans have done more in terms of historical greatness, cultural impact, and top tier dominance. Mexicans have done more in terms of volume, stylistic influence, and national devotion to boxing. There you go. Can I have a Mount Rushmore for each group? Uh, is ChatGPT AI? Yes. The history of boxing and basketball has been built on black men in my lifetime, but international athletes have really closed the gap today. Yeah, that was the biggest upset in sports history, definite boxing history. It was huge. Look at boxing icons. There are a lot of black American icons: Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robertson, Ali, Tyson, etc. Sure, there's Mexicans icons as well. Obviously, Canelo, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Morales, Marquez, modern things. Obviously, Mexican boxers since 1965 have done great. Here we go. Mount Rushmore of Black American fighters: Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, and Floyd Mayweather. I think Floyd don't deserve to be there, but they're looking at money made and everything else. Mexicans: Julio Cesar Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, only 23, but what a fucking legacy. Canelo Alvarez, Eric Morales. Honorable mentions: Roy Jones, Pernell Whitaker, Jack Johnson, Tyson, Archie Moore, Tommy Hearns. Mexicans, Marco Antonio Barrera, Juan Manuel Marquez, Ruben Olivares, fucking power puncher, Carlos Zarate, power puncher, Ricardo Lopez, and Chucho Castilla. Yeah, I think if you're Mexican, you'd be proud of what Mexican boxers have done in the sport. If you're a Black American, you'd be proud of what they've done in the sport as well. Uh, Chavez Sr., greatest of all time. That ain't true. Pernell Whitaker fucking embarrassed him. Floyd versus Armstrong. Man, I cannot put Floyd over fucking Armstrong. But, recency bias is a real thing. Only two Mexicans have been pound for pound number one in the last 100 years. Canelo, Chavez. That's it. Well, Mexicans, or do we count Mexican Americans? Because Oscar was there as well. Morales, first Mexican four-division champ. AI messing up the world, in my opinion. Hello, Sean. Thanks for the Canada Day, B-Day. How do you see Shakur Zepeda going? I think Shakur wins. The question is, what kind of fight are we going to get? Is it going to be another disappointing performance from Shakur, or are we going to see something to really sort of put him back into the conversation for the pound-for-pound list? I'm out. This chat is racist. Some people, what's wrong with you? I just praised Mexico, and this guy is emotional. Canada, spring boxing. What's up, my man? If you guys don't know, today on DAZN, there's a good fight card starting soon. Two great amateur fighters, Albert Badagayev and this other guy who's from fucking Armenia or somewhere. I can't say his name, but it doesn't mean he's not great. It just means I'm ignorant. That's all. Anyone that watches my channel knows that pronunciation is not my strong point. What's your opinion on the kneecap brand controversy? I don't even know what that is. Sean, are you watching Catterall Eubanks? The card is pretty fucking dismal, to be fair. I'm not really too excited about anything on that card. But here we go. Albert Badagayev, 12-0, 8 KOs. But what an amateur. 53-3. And obviously won a gold medal by beating Duke Reagan, multiple-time Olympic fighter Lazo Alvarez, and Mongolian fighter Erdebet. He is a real one. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at the guys he beat. 61-16, 204-33, 64-22. Legitimate fighters. And on the undercard, this guy he fought that's fighting today is pretty good too. 7-0, 6 KOs, welterweight fighter from Armenia. Like Andy Cruz, definitely has to fast track his career. 68-28 as an amateur. Had some good fights in there, losing to guys like Andy Cruz, Keyshawn Davis, and now he's in the division with those guys. Well, he's in the welterweight division, a little bigger than those boys. Catterall fights like a slick black fighter. He is boring, that's true. He is not fun to watch. And then, unfortunately, the undercard looks dismal as well. So it's not that I won't watch it, but I probably won't watch it. Because as I said many times, these UK cards are happening Saturday night when I'm in bed. So to wake up to watch that card, good fucking luck with that. Catterall blows. He's domestic level. I knew it was over for Taylor when he struggled with him. Come on. Come on, man. He's not domestic. He's fucking a good fighter. The problem is stylistically he's boring as fuck. Unfortunately, some guys are just boring, right? It's not hate, it's just real. Some people would like you to think it's racist, but it has nothing to do with race. It's just some styles are boring as fuck. Jack, 30-2, 13 KOs. Those two losses, he could be 32-0 right now, right? Those two losses are fucking biased as fuck. Him losing to Barboza by split decision, that fight easily could have went the other way. And then Taylor by split decision. Like, who has beaten him convincingly? He beat Taylor in the rematch, beat Linares, right? Beat Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis was a fucking Hall of Fame pound for pound win for fucking Devin Haney. I thought he beat Josh Taylor easily both times. Sean, are you an MMA guy? I'm not, but I was impressed with that guy that fought in the weekend, even though I didn't know who he was until this weekend. Catterall, not world class, European at best. Give me a break. He beat Regis Prograis. He beat Taylor. He fucking beat Barboza, but he's not world class. But all three of those fighters are fucking undisputed, unified world champion, unified world champion, and a guy that should have been a world champion. Regis shot, Linares shot. Oh my God. You just got a ton of excuses, man. That resume is awful. That resume is awful. Victor, like literally, dude, why are you such a fucking dick rider? A fanboy? Nobody's saying that fucking Jack Catterall is the best fighter at 140 fucking pounds, but he's definitely fucking top five. And if you're a top five fighter at 145 pounds, how are you fucking domestic or European at best? Is he fun to watch? No. But neither is fucking Keyshawn Davis. Oh, sorry, not Keyshawn. Shakur Stevenson, right? Also boring. That's just the way it is. Some people just have boring fucking styles. They're not the kind of people that are marketable, but they're still good fighters. The chat hates Jack because he fights like a slick black fighter. Yeah, he's boring. That's true. But just give the dude credit. His only two losses were both controversial. He should be fucking undefeated right now. Undefeated. And an undisputed world champion. I mean, if he was undisputed world champion, he should be up there with Devin Haney, right? He beat Regis just like Devin Haney did. And to beat Taylor, when he beat Taylor the first fight, that was for undisputed fucking 140-pound championship. So he would be undisputed like Devin, have wins over fucking Regis. He literally would be fucking pound for pound top six, just like fucking Devin Haney. Right? According to, Devin Haney fans. I'm sure we could get him a fucking Kambosos fight next, just to round out his fucking resume. What did John Boxing say about Devin domestic allegations? He's not going to talk about that. He will bring up Bivol. He'll bring up Kovalev. He'll bring up all non-black fighters who've had issues that were similar. But the issue is, yeah, nobody fucking said any of those guys were fucking purer than fucking, than fucking fresh snow. The problem is these young Americans consistently have this shit happen to them. Shakur, Devin, Tank, Keyshawn, like consistently. These dudes literally shoot themselves in the foot every single fucking time. And I don't care. It is what it is. But it's bad news when it gets out there. I mean, he still justifies that Floyd Mayweather didn't beat up his baby's mama. So why the fuck did he spend months in jail? I guess Tank Davis didn't deserve to go to jail either, but he spent months in jail too. These guys literally were convicted and they got tons of money, millions of dollars to get the best lawyers, but they still fucking went to jail. But we're gonna act like, oh no, they didn't do anything. He literally says, oh yeah, but then you don't criticize Manny Pacquiao. Criticize Manny Pacquiao for what? For owning a bar and drinking. Floyd Mayweather owns strip bars. What the fuck's the difference? Oh, Manny drank. Yeah, okay, fucking who cares? Fucking Errol Spence almost killed himself drinking and driving, but that's okay. But Manny having drinks when he lives in the Philippines, owns his own bar, that's an issue. Okay, never fucking crashed his car and nearly killed himself, but okay. Or he had sex with another woman and got her pregnant. You mean like Bud Crawford just fucking admitted to getting another woman pregnant? Meaning he must have had sex with her, right? Right? Like, who cares that fucking a pro athlete had sex with a woman and got her pregnant? I mean, Sean Kemp's got fucking like 12 kids from 8 fucking women. Like, I don't care. It's irrelevant. Really, I don't care if athletes I support are the biggest douchebags in the world because it doesn't have anything to do with what they do on the court because that's the only thing I'm focused on. I'm not fucking trying to get guys to be my role model. Uh, Sean, these clowns got Kid Austin beating Tank Shakur Abdullah now because he beat Tevin. Of course they do. Of course they do. Recency bias is a real thing. People love to jump on the fucking bandwagon. A lot of the content creators got on Tank with his stuff, so we have to do it with Devin. Well, I guess you could do that, but who gives a shit? Like, what does it have to do with him as a boxer? Not a fucking thing. So who cares? I love alcohol. These YouTube clowns blow everything out of proportion. Exactly. Exactly. Everything is blown out of proportion. Like, who gives a fuck? It's irrelevant. I agree, Shawnee. Jesus Christ, Grievous. Is your name Brittany? Do you come from New York? Were you my fucking co-teacher in Taiwan? You know Will Chamberlain has to have probably 100 kids. I know he had sex with fucking 1,000 girls. Oh, sorry, 10,000. Or was it 20? But I don't know if he had so many kids. Hi, baby. I agree with you, Sean. Laugh out loud, Shawnee. Holy crap. All the fucking co-workers, girls that I work with fucking call me that. Right? Right, Lily? But it's okay. I'm comfortable in my sexuality, so I don't care. Was it 23,000? Oh, well. Far more than me. I think fucking, what is it? Between 100 and 150. It's not quite 23,000. But I don't know if I have stamina for that. Jesus Christ. That's a lot of pussy. It's a lot of pussy. In the UK, we always put Y end of a name like a football chant. The funny thing is, most of the people I work with, girls that call me that, they're not fucking from the UK. Sean, does your dog eat raw meat? She will eat anything, but I don't give her raw meat. The meat I give her is freeze dried in a bag, so it lasts longer. Because I don't cook for myself, so going shopping for my dog is almost as annoying as it is for me to go shopping for myself. Right, baby? I know. It's bedtime, so she's like, come on, let's go upstairs. There's AC. No AC downstairs, but AC upstairs. Yeah, yeah, okay. We can go up in a minute. Just let me wrap shit up, okay? Hop along. Are you okay? Go. Upsy daisy. We put O on end as to Bruno. My dog is obese. She weighs 140 pounds. God damn. What kind of dog do you have? German Shepherd? Fucking Husky? Sheepdog? To put on that much weight? Crap. Lily's also a little fat. So it's contributing to her bad legs. Because she was a street dog, so her back legs never fully developed. So now she's real fucking heavy in her chest. Pit mix. Jesus Christ, is it one of those big giant headed fucking pit bulls that I see? Those things look like something out of a cartoon. Like what is it? Jim Carrey movie. Wasn't there something about a big head when he's like a cartoon type of character? But yeah, street dog. Yeah, Lily was a street dog. Both my dogs, right? Rescue dogs from the park. She followed us home and moved in and said, "Where do I sleep?" Surprise box just released Dane mixed with large breed. It makes sense. They just got rid of him and got the money for the center from Indiana, right? Because they want to try to keep Giannis. But to be fair, they'd be smarter to fucking trade Giannis and build. Because with Giannis, the amount of draft picks you could get would be fucking unbelievable. They should trade him to fucking San Antonio, right? Get that draft pick number 2 that just got picked up, fucking Castle, and another 3 fucking first round draft picks, and give Giannis. Bucks did Dame dirty. No, they didn't. Can you domesticate a feral dog? Of course you can. But when you say feral, it means like, you know, living on the street, you're feral, but doesn't mean you're fucking vicious or, you know, fucking mental. Uh, think about it, right? Like Dame now is still getting paid. He's getting paid to rehab in Portland with his family. Doesn't need to go anywhere. Fucking collecting big checks. What was it, 22 million a year? And now he's a free agent, so he can literally go sign with any team he wants. He just needs to sit back, look at how the season's progressing, and say this team could win this year, and then go sign with them for fucking a player exception. Miles Turner is trash. He averaged 6 rebounds per game. That is the big problem with Miles Turner, but that's because he's always fucking out there shooting threes, right? Which is good for Giannis because he plays downhill. They don't want anyone blocking up the key. So that's why he played with Lopez, who stretched the floor, averaged about 6 rebounds. And now you play with fucking this guy, Miles Turner, which is very similar, but a younger, more fresh version. Sean, is Dame Dola a Hall of Famer? I don't think so, but some people really are excited. But what did he do? He fucking lost everywhere he's ever been. Do you follow the Raptors as your favorite team? No. SGA got a nice extension, Canada. I don't like big shooting threes. But in modern basketball, that's the way they do it, right? Because now they want to open the key so you have more opportunity to penetrate. So, it's not the same game it used to be where fucking bigs are clogging up the lane, the power forwards and the centers never leave the fucking key. Dame is a top 75 list. He definitely a Hall of Famer. I don't think he deserves to be fucking on the top 75, though. I know they said that today, too, and I'm like, really? Come on. I guarantee I can find guys that deserve to be on the list above him. Basketball is boring, man. To be fair, I prefer college basketball, but as the great ex North Carolina Duke guy who does like basketball talking, what's his name, always eating ice cream, he said, if you like college basketball more than the NBA, it's not because of the quality of the game. And that might be fucking true. But yeah, Dwight Howard definitely deserves to be a fucking top 75 player over fucking Dame. Jay Billis, yeah. But Jay Billis can say that. But the truth is, you got to love college basketball enthusiasm, right? It's obviously some games are shit, but so are the NBA. And the NBA, most of the time, it's fucking back and forth, 20 points here, 20 points there. Like this, the flow is terrible. You can be up 20 in the third quarter and still fucking expect that team to lose by fucking 15. In college basketball, shit ain't like that. You got to earn it, right? If you make a run, that shit's serious and it probably fucking ruined you. So you probably have no energy at the end of the game. So it's a way different game. Watching fucking Duke this year with Cooper Flag try to win the title was fun. It was a fun year. They were a great team. They had their ups and downs. It was very interesting. Eating the Rupp Arena ice cream. And I'm a big Duke, Kentucky fan. NIL has Portal been definitely changed some shit. It has. But they got to tone it down a bit because it's become a little bit ridiculous. I just saw Kentucky brought back the big man that they signed. But of course, when fucking what's his face went to Arkansas, that big man went to like northern Arizona, played there last year, and now he's coming back to Kentucky this year. It was like, man, fucking, it's just a revolving door now in college basketball. What's his face, who I like, the point guard for Arkansas, Boogie Fland, right? Why doesn't he come back to Arkansas next year? Jaden Quintons, yeah. Why isn't Boogie Fland coming back to Arkansas? He's going to fucking Florida to play with that fucking Canadian Chinese kid from fucking Yale. I think the NIL is fair. Boogie Fland, great player. The college players deserve to reap some of the reward for what they bring to the league. And it's good because it motivates players to stay in college a little longer. Because if you're making $1 million a year in college, you don't need to go fucking potentially be a second round draft pick in the NBA, right? And then play in the fucking G League. It makes more sense for you to play in college, fucking build your name brand, make fucking big money there. Yeah. Like the dude that's supposed to be the number one draft pick next year, he's going to play for BYU. And that kid's making 10 million a year next year as a freshman, right? 10 million. And you might even get shoe endorsements and stuff. $10 million, man. That kid's fucking, he's driving a fucking G Wagon to school. Life is good. First year, Coach Cal didn't have a first round draft pick since like '07. Scam. Well, to be fair, it was a big transition, right? Obviously, they switching that late to go to a school, it's hard to get a lot of good players. Boogie Flan should have been good, but he got hurt. So, you didn't get to see the best of him, really, I don't think. Sean, will LeBron go to the Knicks, Mavs, or back to the Cavs? I think fucking LeBron would be smart to go to the Knicks. And it'd be great for fucking basketball. And it'd be great for LA to get his ass out the door. Backhanders. Dallas Mavericks are stacked if Kyrie gets healthy. So's Denver. Denver made some good moves, man. Denver. Pay attention to fucking Joker. Now they got fucking the big center as a backup for him. Also a good passer. Brought in Hardaway and Bruce Brown, brought them back. Got the guy from Brooklyn who's a upgrade to what's his face? Better defender, also better off the dribble. Cal got to keep all his recruits and took 3 guys from Kentucky with him. Left Pope with absolutely nothing. Exactly, nothing. Pope did very well considering the circumstances. When you look at who they had, no fucking top college players. Like I thought, man, that skinny black kid that fucking went to Kentucky should have stayed there. Where did he go? Last year he went to another program. Whoever fucking heard of him? I don't even know what program he went to, right? Then fucking you had the other kid who got drafted, the strong guy. He should have went back to Kentucky as well. He would have been great this year for Kentucky. Would have fucking put up great numbers. Probably would have got drafted higher. Yeah, I think Boogie Flan should have went to Kentucky because going fucking Coach Cal, guards do well, but the problem is he runs the same fucking offense all the time, and it's ineffective. Ineffective. He's got to change. Yeah, Bradshaw. He went to Ohio State, but what did he do there? Like literally, what did Ohio State do? They didn't even make the fucking NCAA tournament. It was a boner fucking move. And then fucking Quintons as well. Go to northern fucking Arizona. Where? Northern fucking Arizona. Who gives a fuck? Sean, did Diddy beat the case? It sounds like maybe. From things I'm hearing, it sounds like what's going to happen to him is going to be pretty low key. But that's because all the dudes that potentially he can fucking, rat out, all are fucking big money moguls, man. So it's corrupted. All this fucking bullshit that goes on. Kids, fucking sex rings, underground. Man, this shit is so deeply entrenched that if you find out who's really involved, like that dude fucking from Rape Island and then Diddy and all these fucking people, it'll be fucking everybody. All of fucking Hollywood, right? All the music scenes, so many businessmen, lawyers, politicians, fucking the Prince of England is there as well. So, yeah, it was Aaron State, played with Bobby Hurley. Okay, yeah. I think I watched them play one game. Hurley, better player than he is as a coach, not quite his brother. How is Diddy leisure a crime? When you're fucking drugging people and molesting them, it's a fucking crime. And when people are underage, it's a fucking crime. People are not making decisions on their own. You're literally fucking drugging them. That's a fucking crime. I can't go to the bar and drug all the fucking sexy Taiwanese girls, drag them home and fuck the shit out of them. No. I mean, I could, but it's illegal. no matter how fun it would be, it's still not right. Just because you can do it, you can get away with it, you got the money to fucking do it, you got the fucking place to do it, doesn't mean it's fucking cool. Those dudes would fuck like crazy anyway, right? Maybe not a bunch of dudes, but probably still a bunch of dudes. You know, fucking Hollywood and fucking music scene. A lot of those dudes are fucking bent. So, you probably don't need to fucking drug dudes and twist them into these positions and then fucking videotape them in uncomfortable positions so you can blackmail them and fuck them over later on. Good point, Sean. I respect your opinion because you're speaking from experience. Yeah, sure I am. I got no charges. That's why I'm an English teacher in Taiwan because my record is fucking clean. That's also why I work for the Ministry of Family and Children in Canada because my record is clean. I've never been charged or arrested ever, anywhere. Uh, they're like Waco in Texas, cults. Yeah. But I'm going to let the little baby go to bed. Boxing's coming on soon. So, like I said, people, remember, on the zone, Badagayev is going to be fighting against Dickens. Dickens, 35 and 5. English fighter, Jazza. He's been in some good fights, but obviously he is more of a domestic level fighter. Sean, does it snow in Taiwan? On the mountains, it will snow occasionally, but I wouldn't know because I'm not going to chase fucking snow in the mountains. Taiwan has no heat. One time in Taiwan, 20 something years I've been here, one time it snowed in Taichung. And if you went to any of the higher grounds, there would be like, snow on the ground like this. And people are like, "Are you gonna go to Dakin to go see the snow?" I'm like, "Are you fucking mental?" If it's snowing in Taiwan, it means it's fucking zero. There's no heat in my fucking house. There's no heat in my school. There's no heat in 7-Eleven. There's no heat in 90% of the restaurants. But you want me to jump on a scooter to drive fucking to the mountain so I can fucking see 3 centimeters of snow. I'm fucking from Canada. I'm not from Taiwan. So that shit will never fucking happen. I went home, crawled under my electric blanket with my 2 dogs and watched TV while everybody else fucking drove like maniacs through traffic to go play fucking with this much snow and build fucking snowmen this tall. And then bring them home and put them in their freezer. No. Fuck snow. Yeah, you got to live somewhere where there's snow to say fuck snow. For these people in Taiwan, they say, "What's your favorite weather?" For the kids, snowy weather. It's like, oh my God, you don't even know what snowy weather is. Don't they ski in Canada? Oh no, I like snow. But if you live in snowy weather, snow is a pain in the ass. You got to fucking dig yourself out. It's a shit show. Fucking roads are closed, right? After a few days, it's fucking just slush, gray, and crap. Then it freezes. Now it's fucking frozen, gray, crappy fucking ice fucking everywhere. So they got to throw salt all over the place. Yeah, it's shit. Obviously, when you wake up in the morning and everything's covered in snow, it's beautiful. If you love to ski, beautiful, right? But if you got to fucking deal with snow every day, I remember in Vancouver, it never snows. So it snows and fucking people have no idea how to drive. No one has winter tires. The fucking SkyTrain closes. It's a fucking SkyTrain. Yeah. Sean, is Taiwan like Hawaii? Uh, some similarities, I suppose. Beaches aren't as good, but it's hot as fuck. Humid. Smoking a cig in negative weather is nice. Winter tires. Winter tires, man. You gotta have winter tires. All seasons are no fucking good in the snow. You need winter tires. Will we never have to hear about Haney again once he gets lynched? These yellows in Taiwan think 1 inch of snow is real snow. Laugh out loud. I live in Indiana. We know what snow is. Okay. We know what snow is. Yes. Me too. I think if you lived in Pennsylvania, you'd probably know what snow is more than Indiana, though. I used to go skiing in Pennsylvania a lot. Lots of snow. But thanks everyone for jumping in. I appreciate it. As always, it's been a pleasure. I will see you later this week, even though it's not a good week of boxing. So, no, I won't be going live for the Jack Cadwell fight. Uh, and I'm not going live for the Batagea fight because fucking chances are the fight's not going to happen until like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, that's a ball bust for me, but good for you guys. Because literally, if the fight card starts at fucking 11, there's a bunch of fights before that. So hopefully they're not playing the whole card, but they probably fucking are. So I guess I'll have to watch the fight card tomorrow morning when I wake up. But whatever. Check you next time. Thanks everyone for jumping in. Stay white or pink. Pink. Pink is the new fucking purple. But peace out. Enjoy yourself. Later, everyone.